So I'm a bit of a comic book nerd. You know what? No, scratch that. I am a huge comic book nerd. Like, I have 2 comic book tattoos. My family owned a comic shop for the better part of a year. I'm the one in all of my friend groups that's known as the comic book guy. And as the resident comic book guy, here's a hot take. Comic books are fucking dumb. But how dumb they are is part of their charm. So with that out of the way, here's some of my favorite dumb shit in comic books. It is canonical that Nightwing, the first Robin, has a great ass. So much so that it's part of his character. People have names for each cheek, it's hilarious. In the 90s, Spawn had stitches down the entirety of his face, which he got from when Batman threw a fucking batarang into his face during the crossover. There was a time in the 60s where Superman had the ability to shoot out tiny Supermen from his hands. There's a character named Crazy Quilt who has nothing to do with quilts. If you want a part 2, let me know, this is fun. But fuck waiting for a comment, I want to make a part 2. Here's some more dumb shit in comics. It is canon that Squirrel Girl, yes, Squirrel Girl, has defeated the real Galactus and Thanos alone. The gods themselves have come down to Dr. Doom and told him that the only way that the world will be saved is if he takes it over. Speaking about Dr. Doom, he has a dictatorship that everyone loves. I mean not the people outside of it. The people inside of the dictatorship love him for it. Has anyone checked what Trump is doing these days? He might have an East European country, I'm not sure. We might want to check that. I mean, everybody and their mother knows about this one, but there is a character in DC named Arm Fall Off Boy. Guess his power. The G.I. Joe terrorist organization named Cobra owns a middle American town by the name of Springfield, where every single person who lives there is a member. Okay, now seriously, comment for part 3. Well, enough of you seem to like the last one, so here's some more dumb shit in comic books. Part 3. Batman has a foldable one-seated helicopter by the name of the Whirly Bat that is canon and has been used to defeat a major supervillain. Speaking of helicopters, Thanos has a yellow helicopter called the Thanos Copter. In the same story where that was introduced, Thanos, the Mad Titan, wielder of the Infinity Gauntlet, was arrested by the NYPD. This one's a bit of a long one. So Doc Ock and Aunt May have had multiple flings in the comics. Like a lot. And if that wasn't weird enough, there was a storyline where Doc Ock took over Peter Parker's body and just kind of put Peter's mind in the back of his psyche. So, to get his body back, Peter had to live through all of Doc Ock's memories. Included in those memories was all the times Doc Ock fucked Aunt May. If all that shit didn't scare you off, comment for a part 4. Okay, so these get no views, but, like, they let me vent. So here's more dumb shit in comics. Since Marvel has never technically had a continuity-ending reboot the way that DC has, every single officially published Marvel vs. DC crossover is canon in the 616 version of the Marvel Universe. In the golden age of comics, Green Lantern's weakness was wood. Best way I've heard it described was in an argument between Alan Scott and Guy Gardner and Batman the Brave and the Bold. So what would have happened if I would just run at you with a stick? The same thing that would happen to you if you painted it yellow. Actually, speaking of which, Batman once knocked out Guy Gardner in front of the whole Justice League with one punch. Superboy Prime, the most dangerous version of Superman in all of the DC multiverse, is just a very nerdy kid from a world exactly like ours who got Superman's powers. He's literally the comics industry's critique of toxic comic fans, and I fucking love it. I'm gonna post part 5 and this at the exact same time, so comment for part 6. God, I love comic books, they're so easy to tear apart. Welcome back, this is more dumb shit in comic books. Carryover from last time, Superboy Prime once punched the universe and broke it. This is actually the original reason that Jason Todd came back from the dead. At least it was, no one's really sure how it happened now. Darkseid, ruler of Apocalypse, villain of the Justice League, is omni-universal. That means that no matter which universe you're in, that's the same real Darkseid. There is only one and there will only ever be one. Now that's not dumb until you think about it for a second. Every official form of children's media, every time Darkseid's just shown up to fuck with some kids, that's Darkseid. Almighty ruler of the fucking hell planet. Speaking of children's media being canon, Lex Luthor, Superman's main villain. He showed up in a children's book once where he stole 40 cakes to prove some sort of point. That was later proven to be canon. He just stole 40 cakes just cuz. The original reason that Lex Luthor hated Superman is because he made him lose all of his hair. Comment for part 6. Yeah, we're back out here in the park. I didn't get killed the first time. Why would I stop now? Anyways, here's more dumb shit in comics. We ragged on Lex Luthor a lot last time, so let's keep doing that. Lex used to wear a kryptonite ring to fend off Superman. Only problem is that apparently kryptonite is radioactive to humans too. His hand got cancer and they had to cut the whole fucking thing off. Lex once built a machine that could correctly predict the secret identity of Superman. And he used it. And it told him that Superman was Clark Kent. To which Lex Luthor replied, "Obviously this machine is broken. No one that strong would ever act that weak." The first and only time that Batman ever made Stephanie Brown officially a Robin, she activated a secret plan that he had to eliminate all crime in Gotham. Which is great, except for the one little hitch that that plan required one of Batman's secret identities to be present for it to work. Long story short, government declared it a no man's land and the gangs ruled for a little while. Comment for part 7. I don't really have a good reason for doing another one of these, I just kind of want to. Here's some more dumb shit in comics. Today I want to talk about secret identities, because god, they're great. Wolverine goes by more names than just Logan and Wolverine. One of those names is Patch. The only thing that distinguishes Patch from Wolverine is the fact that he has an eye patch. Same powers, same hair, same way of talking, everything. The only thing that is different is that he wears an eye patch. On an unrelated note, the rest of this video is going to be given by my friend, Scarf. Hi, I'm Scarf. Batman also has a completely ridiculous secret identity. His name is Matches Malone, and he looks exactly like Bruce Wayne, other than a mustache and some sunglasses. And sometimes he carries around a match that he flicks with his thumb. This next one is one of my favorites. Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, after being accused of being Daredevil, once wore around a sweatshirt with big letters on it that said, "I'm not Daredevil" on the chest, and it worked. Leave a comment for more. Hey, the other video's getting a lot of love and I ain't got nothing better to do tonight. Here's some more dumb shit in comics. Punisher has been Ghost Rider, Frankenstein's monster, and an angel of vengeance sent by the Archangel Gabriel. Don't ask questions, just accept it. In an Elseworld story, Batman and Robin, written by Frank Miller, Batman made Robin eat rats out of the Batcave instead of feeding them. On the same day his parents were killed, because Batman's a fucking psychopath. Speaking of Batman, Joker was supposed to die in his first appearance. You see, the way he was supposed to die was the dumb part. He was trying to stab Batman like a fucking slasher villain from the top down, and missed with such force that he came back around, stabbing himself in the gut, and died. Marvel has an Aquaman counterpart by the name of Namor. Now don't get me wrong, I love Namor. I love Aquaman. I love all of the seafaring heroes. But Namor has wings on his feet which allow him to fly, and that is objectively hilarious. The next video is about Seduction of the Innocent, so drop a follow. The rest of my videos at the moment are dead as fuck, so here's Old Faithful. Here's dumb shit in comics. There was a time when Robin broke his arm, and Batman, genius that he is, solution to this problem wasn't to try and mask the fact that both Dick Grayson and Robin had a broken arm at the same time, or even try to hide that in any way. No. Batman's solution to the problem was to wear Technicolor costumes. Every single color of the rainbow, going all the way up to a full-on rainbow costume. One of Flash's enemies is literally named the slowest man alive. There was a Spider-Man villain whose whole gimmick was that he turned Spider-Man fat. The entirety of the Spider-Woman TV show, if you didn't know that existed, it's on Disney Plus and you need to watch it. It's like if those 1960s Spider-Man memes and The Room had a baby. I'll probably do another one anyway, but leave a comment if you want more. Seduction of the Innocent. Welcome to a very special series of episodes in dumb shit in comics. So what is Seduction of the Innocent, you may ask? Seduction of the Innocent was a book originally published in 1954 by one Dr. Frederick Wortham. Dr. Wortham had conducted a series of interviews with children that had been admitted into psych wards, and he made the startling discovery that a fair number of them read comics. So his conclusion from those interviews was obviously that comics cause children to go insane, and he published a book about it, and a very special thing by the name of the Comics Code Authority was born, as well as a whole series of other changes that were created only to appease the people that read this book. My next however many parts will be addressing these dumbass changes. Grab a snack and strap in, this is gonna be fun. You might be wondering, Panda, what are some of the biggest changes that Freddy introduced with his newfound comic authority? Well, in general, couldn't talk bad about police. Villain had to be put in his place and could never be seen as doing anything good. No characters, period, were allowed to date outside their race. Basically, every family that was shown had to be a basic nuclear family setup. You couldn't even mention that drugs existed. no disturbing imagery, which counted most horror movie monsters. Any woman that is shown, and any woman that is shown, you better cover that shit up. Like, they would legitimately have artists go back over already drawn pictures just so they could white out cleavage lines and color them back in. Jesus fucking Christ, 1950s era sexism was hilariously stupid. They did that whiteout trick with any disturbing imagery as well. So, let's talk about what Freddy did to superheroes. Starting with Wonder Woman, because I find it the funniest. You see, Freddy, sexually frustrated white man in the 50s that he was, didn't appreciate how much of a sexually liberated badass Wonder Woman was. You see, Wonder Woman's original weakness was bondage, and I mean like hands down bondage. If you bound her hands and feet together, she would lose all of her powers, and this happened almost every issue. She was also topping Steve Trevor, hands down. There's no debate there. Fight me. And this is in the fucking 50s. And Freddy wasn't here for how much of a fucking goddess that Wonder Woman was. Big change he wanted was to basically make her more of a housewife. Take out all the BDSM, make Steve Trevor more dominant, that sort of stuff. So, Freddy's disgust with Superman is a little weird. He thought he was too, super. More specifically, he thought that children would try and mimic how Superman was. Freddy wanted to nerf Superman, because Freddy thought that children were so fucking idiotic that they would see Superman fly and immediately go, yeah, I can make that. And just go fucking careening off of rooftops. Because I remember back when I was a child and I got shot in video games, my immediate thought process went, no, I'll just have to take cover for a couple of seconds. Well, if you're feeling like a bitch, shoot me in the shoulder and then I'll take some cover, I'll be fine. No! Not even literal fucking toddlers are that stupid. So, long story short, Freddy's a dumbass. So what was Freddy's beef with Batman? He thought he was gay. That's it, he thought his shit was gay. Specifically, he thought the relationship between Batman and Robin was a little bit less partners and a little bit more, you know, partners. I'm doing that shit again. But the way that they decided to resolve this was to give both Batman and Robin girlfriends. Specifically that of Kathy and Betty Kane, the original Batwoman and Batgirl. You see, this is where the funny part comes in now. Years and years later, Kathy Kane was rebooted into a completely new version of Batwoman. A lesbian version of Batwoman. Let me lay this out a little clearer. The character that was created specifically to dispel myths of gayness in Batman comics is gay. God, I fucking love it.